Am I the butthole for moving out because my girlfriend moved her mom in? A few months ago, I was near the end of my lease, and instead of renewing it, my girlfriend asked me to move in with her. Our relationship was at that level, and she needed help with rent since her hours were cut and she had been dipping into her savings to get around, so it just made sense. I ended up paying 60%. Of all shared costs, we were going to go 50-50, but since her hours were cut and I already made more than her before that happened, so I figured it would allow her to replenish her savings. It was pretty great for a few months until she out of the blue told me her mom was going to come live with us as she had lost her job and house. I told her I was not comfortable with that and asked if there were alternatives. She said that she could live with her grandma, her mom's mom, but that her mom felt it was humiliating, so that was a no-go. I still told her I was not okay with this. Apparently living with your adult daughter and her boyfriend is less humiliating? Now it is worth noting that her mom is, well, weird. She is very obsessive, entitled, high maintenance, puts her nose where it doesn't belong, and is a very dominant do-it-my-way type of person. She once had a meltdown because my girlfriend baked a cake for her nephew's birthday, and so did her mom. She did not know about this, but my girlfriend's cake was better and came meltdown. I got dozens of stories like this. My protests were ignored, and 4 weeks ago her mom moved into the guest room. Day 1 was already a crap show. I was going on a grocery run and noticed my grocery list had a ton of extra crap on it. When I asked, her mom said she added it. So I asked her for money and she said she had none, and my girlfriend acted like I was a dick for asking. It turned into an argument with my GF where she said it's her name on the lease, so her choice who lives there. Long story short, I noticed in the store all of the stuff she added was brand stuff and costs way more. And when I got at the cash register, I had to pay $220 where I usually spend like $90 at most for the two of us. I put it on my GF's card, cause I ain't paying for that. When I got home, I called a buddy, asked him if I could crash at his place for a few weeks at most while I look for a new apartment. He asked his girlfriend and they called me back later giving me the okay, and I moved out the next day. I am moving into a new place in a week. Obviously we were barely on speaking terms when I left. Now that we started talking again, she has been adamant I am in the wrong, and the only reason I did what I did was because it was her mom and not someone else. Had it been her dad, I would have been fine with it, and I can't deny that. Lol, her dad is great. Am I the butthole here? NTA, look, this is not okay. You should feel comfortable in your own home. If you pay bills there, you get a voice. Your girlfriend has diminished your voice and claimed ownership and all rights to the decision. Your best chance here is to tell her that since it's her on the lease, she can figure it out then and move out. It's not cruel to do this since this is not what was agreed to. You have every reason to not want to live with her mother. That was my thinking too, like sure it is your name on the lease, but I am footing most of the bills. And to be clear, I already moved out. I am at a buddy now and moving into my own place in a week. Good. Stick to your guns here. I know it's hard considering you're directly involved. But to be fair, she sprang this on you and then tried to force you to accept it, and that isn't fair to you at all. Be sure to treat your buddies well. Buy food and clean up after yourselves, and maybe put some into the month's rent. Sounds like you've got good buddies, so try your best to keep them. Bro, I already got a whole thank you dinner planned for my buddy, and his girl bought a bunch of bottles of wine and everything as gifts. Trust me, I aren't about to let them off without a proper thank you for saving my ass. You can stay at my place for a bit too if you'd like. Just kidding, you sound so reasonable, and a saint for paying extra outside of the agreement. Sure, if girlfriend wants to play the I'm on the lease card, then she can stick that strategy out all the way to the end and cry about it alone afterwards. You did the right thing. All day NTA. I wouldn't be able to move out fast enough if my significant other pulled this. And after they stay at your place, original post is welcome at mine. I like red wine. Next. I like whites. /r/no context, Reddit link. There's probably rarely a time that you would be in butthole in any situation. I bet you return your shopping cart to the corral when you're done too. Only a monster doesn't return their cart, unless they have a health reason for not doing so. I live near 3 supermarkets. We just had a cart added to the return ones from a different 4th supermarket, a good 5 kilometers away. I'm so confused. Perhaps someone just enough a monster enough to borrow it for one reason or another, such as moving, and they felt bad enough about taking it to return it, but not bad enough to go out of their way to return it to the right place. Or maybe they rely on public transit? Who knows? I don't think they let you take the cart on public transport. I sometimes push them to my front door and kids are just gasping because it's on the other side of the road than the store. I always promise them I bring the cart back. Yeah, most public transits won't let you take them, which is why I wondered if that's why it got returned to the wrong store 5 kilometers away, because that's too far to go if you only have public transit and can't use public transit to return it. I am just imagining some weirdo hauling a cart on the bus. When I was a kid, some neighbors bought a shopping cart as part of a Halloween costume. At some point they painted it a very distinct color and it became slightly notorious in the neighborhood, which made the parents tell the kids to get rid of it. Instead of throwing it away or giving it away, they took it up to a local grocery store and left it in the cart drop-off. 2 days later it reappeared in their driveway. They took it to a different grocery store and the same thing happened. They took it to at least 4 or 5 more stores and people just kept bringing it back. Eventually they took it to a store that was several miles away and it never returned. It's not a terribly exciting story, but I do like to think there were a lot of baffled people out there wondering where the F this random shopping cart came from. Homeless people, and others, take them to hold their belongings. Maybe they found a better cart. Their new cart had a spoiler. I'd watch your back, clearly you got a psychopath on your hands. Used to work as a cart attendant, and that was the weirdest effing thing. The whole time I worked there had one cart from the Walmart across the street, 5 lanes of traffic. No ideas how it got in our lot. NTA, she made you believe that you were sharing an apartment until it came to decision that you couldn't agree on. Then it's her apartment. So you did the right thing because now you can do what you want in your apartment. That was my thinking too. I'm curious, did you bring that up when talking to your GF? If so, what was her response? I did, and especially drove it home when she moved her in. Well, it's her lease, so she's got to pay for it now without your help. Looks like Mummy's going to have to get a job. Correction, daughter is going to have to get too. Can't expect Mommy to work for her share. She gave birth to daughter, and she has done her part. /S, just in case. I mean, Mummy probably feels that way. Yeah, but there is no sarcastic tone of voice thing, like not actual sarcasm but that tone. Maybe italics. You know, like all Scots like me talk. But that's humiliating. /S. NTA. Up. I'm sorry if it's a stupid question, but, you're not taking her back, right? I mean, you said you were not okay with her mom moving in, yet, she didn't care and moved her in and thinks you should cater to her needs as well. That's just wrong on so many levels. I hope you cut off contact with her and move on. If she's still adamant you're in the wrong, well, there's nothing left to do there. You are 100% right to move out, and I applaud you for putting your foot down when she decided to be a dictator in the relationship. I would just say, I hope you are ready to walk away from this relationship because that is most likely what will happen here. Good luck. NTA. She made a unilateral decision. While that may be her prerogative since the lease is in her name, you are under no obligation to stick around if you're not on the lease. You're also under no obligation to pay for the mom's food. She's a guest, unless she has dietary restrictions due to medical needs. She should eat what is available and not dictate you buy other stuff. Edit to add, your relationship probably won't survive this, nor should it. You will be dealing with this sort of behavior for the rest of your life if this is the sort of thing she does. Well, added to that, why would I pay at all for someone I don't want there in the first place? And I have considered that we may not survive this as a couple, but this is a hill I am willing to die on. I'm loving your shiny spine. TBH dude, look at the mother. It's not hard to fathom how the daughter will turn out considering she's already being a dismissive butthole to your feelings. Really think it through. Also, if she starts gaslighting you about rent etc. now you have moved out, do not give extra money. Let her lie in the bed she made. Didn't think she was like that, to be honest. Seems she's under her thumb though. Even if she's nothing like her mother, it's still a big deal for your relationship that she's very much under her mother's thumb. That's some are / just normal that you'll be dealing with for the remainder of the relationship. Reddit link. Well, take the time apart to really think it all through. I wish you the best. Imagine the future with this woman. Mommy sticking her nose into everything. I'm the mom when it comes to decisions about any future children. She's shown you who she really is. Believe her. Maybe she will see that it's her mother's fault she's losing you, and come to her senses? I would have a tough time. It's my lease, I can do what I want is not how a partnership works. I don't actually think it is her mom's fault. It's hers for taking her mom in without a proper discussion and overruling original post when he raised concerns. I can't believe her mom's cheek in demanding her daughter's boyfriend buy all her expensive messages. He's nothing to do with her. Doubt it. Mom will paint original post as abandoning them when they needed him, and the likely soon-to-be ex will go with it. Unilaterally moving someone in when you're not footing the entire bill is a butthole move. Do yourself a favor, really think back, really think hard about her attitude and behaviors prior to this. I will bet you bucks after a good long think, more and more of her mother's tendencies will surface in your recollections of your girlfriend. Hindsight is amazingly more accurate than in the moment. She isn't like that yet. Even if she is under her mom's thumb, she is clearly learning her mom's behavior. To her this is normal, and in a few years she very possibly will adopt a lot of the behaviors that you dislike about mom. My ex-Mill was a controlling, narcissistic, delusional old bat. At the time we got married I would have bet all my money that my wife wouldn't turn out anything like her. Boy was I wrong. I don't know about that, haha. My mom and I are night and day different. If you knew us separately you would never guess we're mother/daughter. As well you should. This has sent up a lot of red flags. Better to find out now. Yup. If she can't cut the apron strings now, it will only cause more trouble for you going forward. I'm sorry it worked out so poorly, Op. It's a hill worth dying on. Your girlfriend has already disrespected you in multiple ways by ignoring your wishes, interrupting your privacy and comfort, forcing you to pay for somebody you didn't want, etc., all while you foot the bill. That's not a fair shake by any stretch of the imagination. Careful, if you grow a spine you might not need this subreddit. I won't consider trying to salvage this relationship after this. Can you imagine if you end up marrying this girl and then the mother becomes your mother-in-law and you have to deal with her crazy for the rest of your life? I honestly doubt you'll want to be with this girl in the long term now that you see her true colors. If you ever disagree on other topics in the future, prepare for her to steamroll your opinions again and insist on doing things against your will and then blame you for not supporting her unilateral decisions. I don't understand why you'd even consider surviving as a couple. She totally disrespected you, feels entitled to your money and feels her mom is also entitled to be supported by you. This will not get better with time. Imagine if you were married and you bought a place. Your now wife would move her mother in and you'd be stuck having to relinquish your home to them. Run. You're not going to die on this hill, just get a clearer view. Sometimes the hill is the hill. You sound like a great guy, and you'll find a great gal and maybe like both of her parents. This is a hill worth dying on. F. I read the word prerogative and now I want pierogies. I'm hungry. Damn you, now I want pierogies. You're welcome. Oh, you reminded me I have some homemade ones in the freezer. Thank you. NTA, it needs to be a joint decision to move anyone else into a couple's home. Every time. It's a 2 yeses, 1 no decision. It's also okay to say that you'd be okay with one person and not another. Because people are different. I feel like that's a pretty duh thing. Me too. I mean, of course I am going to be more willing to live with someone for a while that I actually like, just seems like a dumb thing to say. It is a dumb thing to say, in my opinion. I mean, lots of people let family move in, but if you said to them, hey, you have a spare room, this ex-con who is getting out of prison tomorrow, or this homeless person, or this teenager who got kicked out for being an addict needs a place to stay, those same people would say no. Why? Because they're okay with living with one person but not another. And that's perfectly okay and normal. There's some family I'd absolutely open my home to if my husband were on board. And there's some I'd let get eaten by zombies if the only way to save them was to let them in my house. My ex's mom was a little difficult, but I would have lived with her for a year before I'd have lived even a week with his meth head, jobless, stinky father. Give us an update in a week. NTA, it sounds like she is angrier about the fact that your wallet moved out and now neither her or her mother can afford anything. If she says anything about you not liking her mother, tell her that isn't relevant. What is relevant is that you aren't going to support her and her mother. You're probably going to be single soon, so might as well let that help you decide on a new apartment. Also take note, she has already told you what your place within the relationship is when she told you her name is on the lease and she can have whomever she wants living there. That was my thinking too, hence why I am now at a buddy's place and a week away from my own place. I aren't paying for crap, after all my name aren't on the lease. I think you're my new role model, dude. Pay your buddy something though. At least meals or something to say thanks. Definitely. Don't be the overstaying guest. Exactly this. And there was no prior discussion that original post was supposed to finance her mom's food/life, it was just expected? Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.